Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. I'm Agnelina and today I'm here with my new knitting podcast episode, and today's topic I would say will be that small needle knitting takes us a lot of time, or in other words I'm trying to calm myself that it's okay that I didn't finish anything in the last month. Um, it just knitting takes time and it is okay. And if you want to talk about knitting, you don't have to have finished objects every single time. Am I right? At least for me, I really enjoy watching videos, even with weekly updates, even if the people do not finish anything, because I just like to talk about knitting. So I'm Lithuanian. I currently live in Denmark, in Copenhagen. I recently moved out of Norway. So, and I'm knitting now. Thanks, and yes, I'm wearing one of the only cotton top I ever knitted. Of course, now I'm finishing up a new one, and this was my improvisation. I call it contiguous construction because I started it like knitting raglan, but instead of doing raglan increases, at first I increased every row on each side of one stitch. Then I only increased for the sleeve, then I knitted straight, and then I finish up with some raglan increases. Yeah, I was thinking of writing a pattern, but I knitted the top like with bust increases, decreases. I didn't do what now I learned bust dart, so I don't like the length in two ways. The front is a bit shorter than the back, and this is more shorter way top, so it almost long enough. It's long enough, so I don't want to like redo the hem. But it has, yes, I learned on this top 3 different finishings. So I don't know if you can see. Folded hem, folded with peacock edging, and then I-cord. So this was like trying a lot of things, and I felt like it was maybe too much. In my memory it had a bit deeper neckline, so I felt I was living in Norway. So last year I almost only wore it on vacations, because I remember last year on Midsummer Fest, of course we also went to the mountains. I was wearing my fully woolen winter sweaters. So yeah, Norway was not the country to wear the tops, but I decided that I didn't wear this for a long time and it is quite nice, so I should wear it. So yeah, and this cotton is, I think, YarnArt cotton. It is merchandise cotton, and as far as I read it on the internet, merchandise cotton does not grow. That's the main difference between another type of the cotton, which is this one, and I am unsure if this top will grow or not, but I knitted this one too short, so I'm making sure that I have enough length. So I knitted this top. This is test knit for Lily Kate, I think France, or Lily Kate Makes. I really like her, like Lily Kate Makes. It's such a nice sound for her Knitty Committee, and it doesn't have edges. And I feel like a bad knitting podcaster because it doesn't look that nice. I better finish up the neckline, the sleeves, and then, you know, just work on the body, but I only work on the body. The reason was for this, but yeah, first, yarn I wanted to talk, so I still have one ball left. It is Sandnes Garn Mandarin Petit in color 3011. At first, this yarn, or 2 balls of this yarn, was crocheted into the summer hat, but I didn't like it. I frogged it because it was way too floppy at that time when I started knitting and crocheting again, which is now almost only knitting. I didn't understand, you know, the needle sizes and gauges and etc. So I just crocheted with the hook size and the yarn I liked, and then it got too floppy. So I think if I wouldn't want to redo that hat, I should go down needle size or hook size quite significantly, so it would be more sturdy. And then I learned also that maybe I can use starch to make it more not as floppy. But in another case, I just frogged it. I started a new top, it was not working out. I was improvising, and the neckline was way too wide for my liking, and I was thinking maybe I should reknit it with, casting on less stitches, but it never happened. And I got into this test knit and I understood, wow, this is the pattern I want to use. But since this was used as a hat for a few times, and I think it was so wet and dry in sunshine, I think the yarn got a little bit sun bleaching, because I feel like this the frogged one is a bit variegated now, like it has multiple tones. I don't know how to see it on the camera, but on the daylight sometimes I see where I switched to the new ball of yarn. This were like top was, as I said, 2 balls, and then now this the 2 new balls, the second ball I'm knitting, and I have a third. So in total I had only 5 balls to knit this top, and I wanted to use up this yarn, and I don't think that the line is as noticeable. And I also was thinking, if it would become annoying to me, I will try just to leave it to dry it on the sun and hope for sun bleaching again happen, so maybe it would just even out the tone. But I don't think that it is the most significant color change, and as I said, I suspect that it was sun bleached color, so it doesn't matter which other balls of yarn, which dye lot they have, because it won't be the same since it was affected. But otherwise, I think it's turning out great. In the evenings, I don't see that line. I just have sometimes to search for it. I think it looks fantastic. But so this top should be on 26, I think, stitch gauge. Unknitted, and I swatched on 3mm suggested needle size. It was way too big, 24, 25 stitch count, so I sized down to the only other needle I had, so it was 2.5, and it's sort of got gauge. I think I am on smaller side. I'm sorry. So I think I am a bit on lower side for this top, for my size, but I think it works in favor, since I noticed that I think in the test group that there are too many more baggy, looser knits, and I think maybe it should be recommended with a little bit more negative ease, and I think it was going up to a bit more positive ease for the suggestions. So I think and I was expecting and when I started knitting and I noticed that it is a bit too small. At first I was thinking, well, I can always, if my gauge swatch was stretched out, I can stretch to the right measurements this top, but I think it fits me perfectly as it is, so I'm not gonna to stretch to the right measurements. I just in love how this top fits, and as I said, I first time learned bust start, when you give a bit more length for the bust, more fabric, so then the top is not falling shorter on the front, so that was nice. It has some body shaping. I made my body shaping a bit more intense, or double the decreases for the bust, and then I think I was way too afraid that it will stretch out, so I started increasing and I measure my hips are almost exactly the same measurement as my bust, so I wanted to increase again soon enough so it wouldn't be too tight around that area, underbelly or around the belly, so I think it just could look not as nice. So I don't think I might start doing increases faster, and I do a few more increases than maybe written, but yeah, as I said, I was also afraid about the length, so I was measuring to my other knits to this top, so now it reaches exactly this top length, plus I have to add a really nice ribbing. Then I was measuring to the other knits I have, which I like the length of them, even I have no idea if they are a bit too long, too short, but they are almost around the perfect area, so I think with the ribbing it will almost reach it, but this is summer top, so maybe I don't want it as long, I was thinking. But yeah, I was knitting and knitting and knitting the body, and my problem was, since I was using 2.5mm needles, the only smaller size millimeter needles was on the sock project, because at the same time I decided to do 2 really small millimeter needle knitting, my first socks in 15 years. So those socks are really intricate color work. So I was not able to take those needles out of it, so I just knitted on the body. And then I just recently, last week, I went to buy another pair of 2mm needles. So, you know, to switch the socks on another set, because I bought the wooden one, and I took the socks for the Easter weekend while traveling to meet my family. I was taking the plane, so I was too afraid to take metal needles. In Norway, I don't think that I ever had problems with metal needles. I think I almost never have problems, but I'm so afraid to have problems on the plane, so I always try to have wooden needles, not metal ones. But I prefer knitting with metal ones. So now I switched on my 2mm needles to do the ribbing, so I finally will start having finishes, because it was in this, I think, awkward on the internet, but it is nice, and it was becoming, it took quite a long time, because I think I joined in the round and then I started a new job, and I was so exhausted in the evening, so I had almost no energy to knit. And then the third week into my work, I catch, I think, the flu in the office, because half of my team was bedridden with me, and it was for 3 days. My temperature rose to 39 Celsius, which is almost, I don't know, 100 Fahrenheit. It's not good conversion rate maybe, but it was high temperature. I was bedridden. I had no energy to sit or knit, because I was only on one side or another side. You cannot knit while you are while you're fully laying down. It was a torture to sit. So yeah, this stop is taking a bit more time, but I have time. I still have, I think, 3 weeks and maybe 3 days to finish up. So I think this week's goal is the ribbing and the neckline, and then I have almost a week for the short sleeves. And another thing why I was not inclined to cast on sleeves, because I was really doubting what I want more, puff sleeves or short sleeves. I'm leaning towards simple sleeves right now, because I really fell in love with how example on Lily Kate's looked with puff sleeves. I just oh, so beautiful, and I imagine, you know, the stuff would be perfect with that. But the problem is that I'm planning, I live in Copenhagen, so most likely I was thinking, oh, I want to be able to wear with cardigans or blazers in summertime to the office, maybe the stop. And then I was thinking that those puff sleeves would be in a way, but at the same time they're quite nice also for the office, but with that, maybe with cardigans it wouldn't look nice if there would be some bulging. I don't have a cardigan, but my plan is to finish one after finishing the stop. So yeah, I was just doubting, should I do puff sleeves, should I do simple sleeves? And at this moment I just thinking, just not overthink it, since I feel like for some testers puff sleeves looked more wobbly, and that was not the look I felt in love with when I first see this pattern. So I was thinking just maybe simple short sleeves, simple top, you know, be able to wear it to the office, because now I'm going all 5 days to the office, so a lot of time spent in the office, because apparently you cannot do programming work from home. Yes, you really need to be in the office. Computer is not enough. You need other people talking around you to distract you. But it's really nice office, nice people, and we have a really good lunch deal, so I'm getting breakfast and lunch at work for a really cheap price and really good ones. So it's fun to go to the office, but sometimes it is distracting, and sometimes it takes time to get to the office and not. And it requires totally different outfits. So this top will be perfect. It became a bit boring, but now I think when I'm on finishing edges it should go quickly and I should be really excited. Because I feel quite ashamed that I'm just on this point, because some girls I think started after me cast it on and already finished, and I just, seriously, you're really quick knitters. But I was really happy that we have 2 months to knit it, and it was really, like, I think I can knit a top in a month, but I knew that, you know, my life will be changing, like start a new job, and apparently I got sick, so you don't know what will be happening. So I feel like those two months were just comfy time, just a bit, when you can continue working. But I started my like summer really early this year. So I think after this I will, in summertime, I will be knitting more like winter knits. Maybe start with gift knitting too. So I would be ready when everything comes, and just, yeah, be ready for new ideas, because I have so many plans and ideas in my head, so I just need to knit everything up. But yeah, I think it's going really great. The body shaping was nice, and I was trying it on after finishing bust decreases. My boyfriend says, you should stop knitting that. But I don't like crop tops, like I don't know, like bras almost sized. I think it looked cool, but I'm not that comfortable about my stomach area, so it's longer and fitted for the office. So hopefully I will be able to, yeah, finish it up and show you next time, and finish it up quickly. Oh yes, I also wanted to mention that this yarn for this top was always living in my handmade knitting bag, and since this was a project, I used it for quite a small amount of time, and then those yarns were in my stash laying in a year or two even. I think for 2 years it was just laying around. So after finishing this project bag, I never used it. Well, I used it for a really short time, and I didn't buy a lot of knitting bags, and I never used a lot of knitting bags, and then I took it out, and it was so comfortable because I'm using just tote bags, and this is way more comfortable. So I actually want to sew a lot of these, more of these, and use more of these because it is so comfortable. And I think it still fits, but since I'm actively working, I was not putting it back to this bag. But yeah, look, it fits the top. So it's not really small knitting. Oh, this is perfect size, I would say. So it was really easy to, yes, to pack it, to take it, and it's not bulky. Because for other knit I'm having here, I'm using the tote bag, and I think that maybe the biggest problem is that it is too big and it is not, you know, flat bottom, so just it gets, I don't know, it's wonky, it's not that comfortable, and you don't know the shaping and etc. So it's nothing wrong about this, using tote bags as project bags, but somehow it was way more comfortable to use like actual project bag for keeping projects. How? But yeah, so another small needle knitting, which was serotonin cast on, and the idea, when I just moved to Copenhagen, I went to, for one day I had like no free time, I walked around, I went to the bookstore, and I saw a few knitting books and a few Harry Potter knitting books, and then I saw this sock. So, so of course this is one, and it's supposed to have 2 socks. So firstly, the front text is, I solemnly swear that I'm up to no good, which is Marauder's map text to open and see the map of the Hogwarts. So I thought that it is so cool, and it's so intricate detail and so beautiful. And of course, first pair of socks in 15 years. The smallest, most delicate needle knitting, but it is fun. I'm really enjoying this one. And I don't think that these socks will be worn that much, because I'm making sure that I can wear them, because it's tight to put it on, but after each colorwork row I was putting it on and making sure that it can go through my heel area, because it was just that tight. I think you're supposed to knit on the bigger needle size, but when I was watching, I was getting way bigger gauges than it's supposed to be, and I think it's like I don't know, I went to the smallest one, and I think it was, I don't know, maybe it was measuring even bigger, but I said that I cannot go smaller because I don't think I didn't found smaller needles than 2 millimeters, or I think zero United States size, US size. So yeah, so it is the smallest needle, and I decided that it has to work, and I think it's mostly close to perfect, as perfect as it gets with me. So yeah, I think it's the most intricate, most delicate ones. And yes, and on the foot, you have text mischief manage, which is like, you know, closing off and hiding the map text. So I thought that it is the most delicate, most adorable piece of socks, and I need it. Needless to say that I grew up with Harry Potter, in love with it. And I hear that J.K. Rowling is not a nice person. She said something maybe bad or ugly about, I don't know what. I remember that this is almost like Harry Potter should be cancelled, but I feel like Harry Potter became, to me, I never knew what was J.K. Rowling. I remember as a kid I was looking into her name and just, I don't even know her name. It is J.K. Who is J.K.? Is it woman? Is it man? Nobody knew. Well, I didn't know because I was a kid and there was no internet at the time. So I was never like attached to the author, and it, yeah, I think in a way it is bigger than her, but I'm not saying that it is, yeah, but I get it that all these royalties from Harry Potter franchise goes to her. So yeah, but I'm making something for myself, so I think that's okay. Yeah, I yeah, I can see both sides, but I just in love with these socks and with the story. What I can do, I cannot change the author. But yeah, it is really nice and it's really intricate, and I would never ever, and I was even, it's so funny because I would see, you know, knitters buying expensive yarns for the socks because, oh, it's only for a sock, it's only for a sock quantity, and I just, it's still expensive yarn for what you're getting, you know. Or they will do, oh, it's more delicate because it's so small and you don't need, you know, to knit the whole sweater. Can you imagine 2 millimeter needles? Sweater in the pattern, which is every single line is different. That would be, that's that would take probably a year. But yeah, so I have this more intricate knitting, and it is more travel friendly because I was flying with Ryanair and I have only one backpack, so the sock would take less space. So I took the sock, not the body. And I think for the body I wasn't sure with the length, so I was almost reached the point I wanted to start the ribbing, and at home I have, you know, more cables and etc. So then, you know, I have to take multiple maybe needle sizes, then, you know, somewhere how to measure it, so where to put stitches and etc. So I decided that it was easier to travel with. And yes, I had done a heel first time. So it was so funny because all the instructions I got were in Danish, because I found the book in Denmark. So this heel, but I was really enjoying that the author wrote, you know, which heel construction was used. So I found also English instructions, and then I just compared, and I just saw that I needed to, and I found on another website the dictionary, which is, you know, how at least pearl is written in Danish, and knit, I think, like at least shorten up. So I almost managed to figure it out, and I think it turned out quite nicely, and at least it looks like heel, and I think when I put it on, it is quite nice heel. So yeah, these are my first socks and in my first, I think I only knitted 3 pairs of socks. So the first one was really huge DK weight, and the second and the third one were also quite huge, and this is why I didn't want to knit socks, because I felt like they are just DK weight and even looser. Well, similar to, okay, which one doesn't have a hole? Okay, this one. So similar to these, like, they're bulky, they are nice, but they're bulky, they're just, you know, heavily house slippers, have fleece socks, because you cannot fit such a bulky, sock usually in your shoes unless you specially bought shoes almost size or two too big to fit, woolen socks. So I felt like this, but then when I really started knitting, I saw that fingering weight socks exist, and I'm just, oh, they're more delicate. They're more like real or supermarket bought socks. And I think I would also want to knit white pair with the ruffle on top and actually wear it with shoes maybe. Of course, in a white sock should be such a nice, it could be get really dirty really quickly, but I think it could be so beautiful. But yeah, I think that this pair will be more just to adore it, not to wear it, because I was always raised, to keep the best things for last. So just don't wear your best clothes, because maybe you will need to put it on for some occasions, and you want for occasion to have a nicer clothing, just also wear like your old clothes and etc. So I think I will be hoarding these socks and might almost never wear it, but I'm okay with that. But I need then more socks, because those I showed to you are getting holes, and I think at least one pair of the woolen socks, it's quite nice to have. Maybe I could repair, but I'm really afraid that the hole is on the foot, somewhere like here, or I guess by the foot area here after the fingers or toes. And I'm a bit afraid if I try to patch it on, etc., that it will be bulky and it will be like standing on a rock, or something uneven. And I don't think that I can. I'm quite sensitive. If the smallest rock is in my shoes, I have to take it out. And I think my boyfriend just can ignore it, and then he comes back home and just pours a lot of rocks. And if I have like one small one, I need to stop and pour it out, because I just can't continue, because it is annoying me with each and single step. And he just feels. Sometimes it feels like he doesn't feel anything, and I feel everything. But yeah, so this is my second active whip, and with this active whip would be maybe finished quicker, but I deprioritizing it. As I said, it is not my priority. It is more that if when my top was becoming a bit maybe boring and I wanted to switch it off, so I was starting knitting this one, and I think when I finish the top, because now just on the finishing details, I can come and knit with my other knit, which is now put it on hold, on hold, not deprioritize, but deprioritize even lower while I'm test knitting. And it is this cardigan, which is now only sleeves. So I think this cardigan would look really nice with this top, especially color-wise. Look. Into the office. Oh, I just imagine this outfit. Maybe I will rock it all, almost all summer. Because for the summertime, maybe it will be, I don't know, maybe it will be too warm to wear sweaters, but it may be also colder in Denmark too. Summers are not as hot here as, I don't know, in Spain or I don't know, California or whatever. So, but my office is like on that top floor, so we have also ceiling lights. So if it is sunny, our office can warm up really fastly, as if it is in a greenhouse. So it is so nice now in more winter time and upcoming in the springtime too, but it makes to dress up for the office more difficult in a way that I have to have things so I could take it off. So for example, having cardigans, I really need cardigans. I have 0 cardigans and 1 blazer. I need them more. And another thing what I need more, I think like probably I'm thinking after finishing this top, maybe not immediately, but my plan is to cast on. I decided, but I need to buy the yarn for it, like forest green top, because this Knitting Committee also have long sleeves. and it is, you know, fingering weight. So I was thinking that for that office in the winter time when I need, you know, like full woolen sweater, but I cannot wear like full woolen sweater because it's too hot. So having fingering weight long sleeve sweaters would be perfect. So now my plan in my mind for myself, what I'm missing in my wardrobe, because I don't own any fingering weight. I only wear like mohair blouse I have. Oh, and that mohair blouse I knitted by this pattern, following, not following, but you know, using the same construction, same ideas, and like measuring against this one to see, you know, is the body, you know, lengths and etc. are correct. So yeah, those are what I will need in the future. And this yarn, if I didn't say, it is Filcolana Arwetta, which is a bit more expensive yarn, but I was not finding really delicate, small yarn for this sock. And then recommended sock yarn was hand dyed from America and so expensive, and plus shipping and import taxes, it would be maybe $100. But now I'm just don't remember it correctly, so I may exaggerate things. So this is only $20-ish was. I don't remember now. Oh, I think I paid around 20 euros, but I also bought maybe wool comb for something else. So this yarn is not that expensive, but it's also a bit expensive. But I believe that this is good quality yarn. It has the right yeah, but I really don't like that the heel is single layer, because everything here is 2 layers, and the heel, I think the area where you can get holes the most quickly, it is just single layer. But yeah, I'm loving these socks. I am thinking I'm more now inclined to knit delicate socks with patterns, but I really want simple ones. I really like single color, but yet again, I got bored knitting this one. Even if I love stockinette knitting, I love, you know, I love this color. I don't know if I will love it on me, but I really love this color, at least idea, and I may use it with to the office, with cardigan, the black one, so it should be fine. But yeah, I think I'm rambling too much now, so much. Yeah, I started I started rambling too much. So thank you so much for watching this, and I hope to see you next time. Bye!